Why buy a Musso instead of a Tasman? Hello, this is Mocar Kim. Today KGM announced the price of the Musso EV and started pre-orders. Starting at 48 million won, and with the electric cargo vehicle subsidy, the actual purchase price is around 30 million won, even by Seoul city standards. They say it is incredibly economical. It is said to be an electric pickup truck with ample driving range, safe batteries, and many other advantages. However, looking at what has come out now, it seems to have been released targeting the Kia Tasman. First of all, the actual purchase price is cheaper than the Tasman, and the maintenance cost is cheaper than the Tasman, etc. It seems to have been released with the goal of properly beating the Kia Tasman, the first electric pickup truck of a Korean car, the Musso EV. Let's take a quick look at what kind of car it is. Let's take a look at the design first. The front is like this, the side is like this, the back is like this. What do you think? It doesn't really fit the name Musso, honestly. The Musso and Musso Sports that we remember are like this. This isn't Musso, it's Torres electric truck. So when you look at it overall, it feels familiar. It's almost similar to the Torres EVT, the concept car that we saw at the Seoul Mobility Show in 2023. If you look at the KGM press release today, it says, the exterior design is based on the handy and tough concept that is convenient yet sturdy and harmoniously implements the toughness unique to pickups and the smart image of electric vehicles. It's a pickup truck, but it's designed to feel like an electric vehicle. Well, if you look at the front, it basically shows a front design similar to the Taurus electric vehicle, EVX model. And if you look at the lamps, the Musso EV doesn't change the design of lamps depending on the trim. That's why all cars have lamps like this. First of all, you can see that the DRLs are designed like this, with 6 in the middle, one after another. The headlamps are also placed at the bottom, which is the same, but the grille design is a little different. The Musso EV's grille is made of matte plastic. It's similar to the grille design we saw on the regular Torres model. This car is a tough car, and it seems to be emphasizing that it can drive well off-road. You can also see a silver skid plate installed at the bottom of the bumper. This also seems to be a design to emphasize the off-road feel. Originally, skid plates were designed to absorb or disperse shocks that could damage the engine oil pan, transmission housing, fuel lines, etc. when driving on rough terrain off-road. However, this car is equipped with skid plates, even though it is an electric vehicle. So, it feels like this is a design feature that was made to look tougher and more like an off-roader, rather than a skid plate that actually functions. Likewise, the red points on both sides are also very off-road oriented. It is a design inspired by the tow hooks of off-roaders. Off-roaders need to be able to see the tow hooks well even when they are covered in mud or dust. In many cases, red tow hooks are installed so that the tow hooks can be easily found in emergency situations or at night. Musso EV also has red points inspired by that. In fact, other cars, such as the Nissan Rogue Rock Creek Edition, that emphasize off-road sensibility, often have this design. So, what do you think of the overall front design? Do you like it? First of all, I feel like it is a design that has a high level of understanding of how to design it to look more off-road-like. But I think it would have been better if it was called Torres EV pickup truck instead of Musso. The Musso with the Benz engine that we remember. It's a design that feels like it has no connection to that Musso at all, so it's a little disappointing. Looking at the side, the charging port is located on the driver's side fender, just like the Torres EVX. The wheel arch is equipped with a vertical decoration like this. If you look at cars like the Jeep Wrangler, they have a hood latch installed here. It feels like a design inspired by the hood latch that secures the hood in that way. And moving towards the C-pillar, there are two unique parts. First, there is a rhinoceros badge installed on the C-pillar. In the past, the Musso Sports also had a rhinoceros-shaped badge installed in this area. At that time, the rhinoceros felt a bit more three-dimensional, but now it has been simplified to a 2D form. When the concept car was unveiled at the Seoul Mobility Show 2 years ago, there was no badge like this here. However, it seems that this badge was added during the process of changing the car name to Musso. The second unique part is that it has a garnish in the form of a handle. First of all, it doesn't feel like the car is cut off from the C-pillar, so I think it has the advantage of giving it a more sophisticated feel in terms of design. It can also serve as a practical handle, and it can also be a supplementary support point when loading luggage on the roof or using a rooftop tent, so I think it will also play a functional role. If you look at the back, you can see the large KGM lettering on the tailgate. When it was a concept car, there was the Torres lettering here. I think it changed when the car name was changed to Musso EV. In the meantime, you can see the Musso EV lettering in small letters on the lower left side and the maximum load capacity sticker of 500 kilograms on the lower right side. In fact, I don't think a maximum load capacity of 500 kilograms is that small for a small pickup truck, especially an electric pickup truck. In the case of an electric pickup truck, the battery is placed on the floor. There is a limit to the weight that can be loaded into the rear cargo box. Even if you somehow overcome these problems and increase the load capacity, what if you load a load of nearly 700 kilos on it? The fuel economy will drop drastically. The Hyundai Porter EV or Kia Bongo EV are said to have a driving range of 211 km, but if you load it with a load, it can only go 150 km. I think that's why the Musso EV had to have a maximum load capacity of only 500 kilograms, because something like that can happen. In fact, there are limitations to the rear design of pickup trucks. They're all the same. Truck decks, vertical lamps, they all look similar. That's why manufacturers these days are engraving the manufacturer's name or vehicle name on the tailgate. So in fact, the details of the lamps can be said to be the most important factor that can affect the image of the vehicle. So the shape chosen by Musso EV is like a bone. The brake lights are divided into two parts, top and bottom. I think KGM is the first to do this kind of detail. There is a vertical lamp in the middle of the bone. I think this will be the blinker. The reverse lights are the lights on both ends of the rear license plate. All of these are LED. Let's take a look at the interior photos. KGM only released one photo of the second row today. They released photo of a car seat here, and it seems to emphasize that it is a family car that is spacious enough to fit a child seat. First of all, according to the KGM press release, it has a wide interior space like a mid-size SUV. It has a couple distance of 850 mm, which is equivalent to a Korean domestic SUV model. Couple distance refers to the distance from the front seat back to the rear seat buttocks. This is usually less than 850 mm for compact SUVs and between 850 and 950 mm for mid-size SUVs. But now that it says it has 850 mm, it seems better to say that it has secured the same second row space as the mid-sized SUVs like the Santa Fe or Sorento, but rather than that, it has secured the same second row space as the Taurus, since KGM considers the Taurus to be a mid-sized car. And the second row has a sliding function and a reclining seat that can be reclined up to 32 degrees. Usually the second row of pickup trucks has a wall behind it, so it was hard to imagine the back seat being tilted. But when I saw the Kia Tasman before, I was surprised and said, wow, that's a really ingenious idea. You can see that the same function has been applied to the Musso EV this time. In addition, the reclining angle is 32 degrees. The Tasman had 30 degrees, but the Musso EV added 2 more degrees. It is tilted a little more, emphasizing the feeling of lying down more comfortably. In addition, the second row headroom is 1002 mm, securing ample space and maximizing passenger convenience. In the end, it gives the impression that it has a design that adds the shape of a truck while maintaining the interior space of the existing Taurus electric vehicle as much as possible. The first row interior has not been released yet. It is expected that a design almost similar to the Taurus electric vehicle will be applied. A 12.3-inch integrated display will be applied, but I actually think there is a big problem with the design of this instrument panel. Some say that it followed the BMW design, but even if that is true, no, actually it shouldn't be said that way. The numbers on this instrument panel are placed too closely together. The speed unit is displayed at 20 increments up to 220 km per hour, so it feels too dense overall. In the case of BMW, the speedometer is arranged in 30 km per hour increments. So when you look at the dashboard, you feel like you only see the numbers you need. However, KGM's dashboard is densely displayed with numbers in 20 increments up to 220 km/h. So when you look at the dashboard, it feels like it's filled with too many numbers. It seems like they just copied the old needle dashboard that displayed numbers in 20 km per hour increments. So it seems like it lacks detail. I hope these parts will be improved a bit more in the future. I don't know how the other parts will turn out yet, but since the exterior design reflects a lot of off-road elements, I hope the interior design will also have a tough and masculine off-road feel. I'm really curious about what it will ultimately look like. The motor and battery information was also completely released today. First, let's look at the battery. It is said that the 80.6 kWh LFP blade battery supplied by BYD will be installed. This battery is called a blade battery because the cells are long and thin, resembling blades. It is also designed in a cell-to-pack (CTP) method, which places the cells directly in the battery pack without modules. When I visited BYD headquarters last year, they showed an experiment where a nail was directly inserted into the battery cell without causing a fire, emphasizing that this is a truly safe battery. In Korea, there was a case where a Taurus EVX and a Kia Pride collided in Busan, and the vehicle caught fire, but the battery pack was not damaged. At that time, KGM immediately distributed a press release the next day saying, "The safety of the LFP battery has been proven." Of course, there were cases of fire accidents with models such as BYD Han and Song in China, and there is no such thing as a battery with a completely 0% risk of fire. For this reason, KGM is said to offer the longest domestic warranty of 10 years or 1 million kilometers for Musso EV batteries. It is also said to be planning to operate a KGM electric vehicle battery safety guarantee program that compensates up to 500 million won in the event of an electric vehicle battery fire. Anyway, KGM equipped the Musso EV with an 80.6 kilowatt-hour battery pack, and the driving range on a single charge is said to be 401 kilometer. The driving range at low temperatures is 357 kilometer, maintaining 89% of the room temperature, which is a pretty good figure. However, it is not yet known how much the driving range will be reduced when 500 kilograms of cargo is actually loaded. We will check this by testing it ourselves when the vehicle is released. As of now, I think it will be able to drive about 300 kilometer. The motor is equipped with a 152.2 kilowatt front-wheel drive motor. Converted to horsepower, this is about 207 horsepower, which is not an incredibly powerful motor, but considering the instant acceleration characteristic of electric vehicles, it seems that it can be used without much inconvenience in normal driving. Lastly, KGM said that in order to strengthen the fire safety of the vehicle, it has developed a system that checks the battery status by itself every 10 minutes when parked. In addition, it is said that a double and triple safety management system has been applied by managing the voltage and temperature of the battery in 3 dimensions even while charging. These parts are definitely reassuring in terms of safety. However, although it is not included in the current press release, if there is something additional that I would like to see, it would be nice if it had a function that automatically makes an emergency call to the fire department if the owner does not respond when there is a problem with the battery. Now let's look at the most important part, price. The starting price is 48 million won. In addition, the Musso EV will receive an electric cargo vehicle subsidy. In Korea, cargo vehicles receive twice as much subsidy as passenger cars. After receiving the final subsidy of 8.38 million won based on Seoul City, the actual purchase price is 39.62 million won. Is the cheapest trim of the Musso EV worth buying? The exterior is equipped with LED lamps from the basic model. Sequential turn signal lamps are also included. The exterior lamps are equipped with the highest grade lamps from the most basic model. The interior is equipped with a 12.3-inch digital cluster and display, ambient lights, heated, ventilated seats in the first row, and even electric seats are included. As for safety equipment, adaptive cruise, lane keeping, and smart high beams are all included as standard. An outdoor V2L connector is also included as standard. Isn't the basic model worth buying at this level? If you go up one trim, the actual purchase price based on Seoul City, which is 50.5 million won, becomes the deluxe model worth 42.12 million won. The additional specifications for the deluxe model include a utility roof rack and black garnishes on the exterior. The wheel size is 17 inches, the same as the standard, but the black diamond cut is changed. The interior includes a power seat for the passenger seat. It even includes a walk-in device switch. The audio system also includes the Alpine audio system. This Alpine audio is the same audio that was used in the old Musso. Not only that, brands such as BMW, Jaguar, Chrysler, Jeep, Lincoln, and Benz also used Alpine audio. In Korea, Alpine audio was also used in the first generation Sorento after the Musso. And in Korea, it withdrew in 2010. Last year, a Korean company signed a distribution contract and started selling it again. The KGM Musso EV can be said to be a comeback in the car industry. So far, we've looked at the price list for the Musso EV. What do you think? If I were you, I would not necessarily go up to the deluxe trim and just be satisfied with the standard trim. There is no difference in the optional specifications, especially the important safety specifications or exterior specifications. So for us, since it is a pickup truck for the standard model, considering situations such as parking or possible off-road driving, we can just add the 3D around view monitoring system option of 1.2 million won. Then the final actual purchase price after receiving the subsidy according to Seoul City is 40.82 million won. I think it would be perfect to buy it at around this price. Today, I briefly looked at what kind of car the KGM Musso EV is. Now that the Musso EV is released, it will monopolize the domestic electric pickup truck market, just like the Rexton Sports monopolized the domestic pickup truck market. Will Kia just sit by and watch? If the Musso EV gets a good response in the market, the Tasman electric vehicle will also come out soon, and I feel even happier because consumers will be able to make more and better choices through fierce competition. This was Mocar Han Yong Kim. Thank you.